everyone, this is Board Games and Bourbon. I'm Glenn Flaherty. Thanks for being here. And today I wanted to talk about Milkman, which is a game I've been playing for about 2 weeks now. And it really kind of struck my fancy because it has a mix of mechanisms I haven't really encountered before. I thought it looked really cool and had a nice theme about dairy farms and deliveries. And then there's these additional goal cards over here that I think are going to be stretch goals on a Kickstarter that really change the ebb and the flow. And altogether, what I had was games that were played pretty quickly, half an hour to 45 minutes, and I wasn't able to do everything I wanted in any one game. Because it was midweight and not daunting, I wanted to play it a few times in a row, and that was a very welcome thing. So how does the game play? Okay, well, what you have, the game is essentially decentralized. You're each going to have your own little farm in front of you. It's going to be your dairy farm and your delivery route. And what you're going to do to start the game is there's going to be an active player and non-active players, but everyone's going to roll dice. Everyone has black dice. The active player has white dice, and you're going to roll them. And there's 6 faces on these dice. They're going to give you 6 different actions. One of them is kind of going to be like a penalty action, okay? And they're going to trigger different things on your board. So let's go through what these all do. The first face on here is money. And what you're going to use money for is you are going to use it to reroll dice if you're not happy with your results, or you're going to upgrade your dairy farm. What can you upgrade? You start with 2 cows. You can spend money to get additional cows. That's important because when you milk cows as one of the actions, you milk once for every cow that you have. 2, you can get extra silos in the game. You start with 2, you can get up to 3. And that's important because every silo, when it is bottled, produces 1 kind of milk. And there are going to be moments when you might need 3. You have a truck you can upgrade. It starts with a limited capacity and limited range. And when you improve that, both enlarge, you have more bottles and longer distance. And that means you can hit more customers in one turn and be more efficient. And that can help you get points. So that's what you use money for. 2 is the milking action. That takes the milk from all of your cows. Bottling, that takes all the milk you have in the silos and converts it into something. Delivery is going to bring it out to your customers and hopefully you can get back. There's going to be an action that's going to let you get customers from a market. This is pretty interesting because getting customers from the market has some complications to it that aren't as easy as it might think either. So on this market, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 slots. That is analogous to the 4 slots on your board. Where you pick the card up from the market is where it has to go on your board. Now, what are the implications about that? Well, number 1, you need to have the space available. 2, you have to have the capacity of your truck to be able to get there. 3, you need the manufacturing abilities to make what they want. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Now, what do the cards say? So this one here, for example, and I'll try to throw up a picture of what the cards look like, has a victory point total on it of 6, and it says here it needs 6 bottles, in this case, all skim. But there are some bottles that might say 2 chocolates, 2 wholes, and 2 skims. Or in other words, two browns, 2 reds, and 2 blues. The further you go, it can be harder to get there. So you get money if you go a little further. But you might also want to go further because it gives you more people that you can hit up on one turn. Having more customers early gives you the flexibility to say, okay, I didn't quite bottle exactly what I wanted as far as the milk coming out, but because I have the flexibility in customers, now I can spend one turn and hit them all. The last action on the die is spilled milk, and this makes customers go away or makes you lose milk. But there are outs to that, and that is that you can spend money, of course, to reroll, but you can take 2 of the similar faces and it becomes a wild action for you. But once you do that, you turn your attention to the board, and what you discover is you have to plan a little bit for now and kind of set things in motion down the line. If you're playing with the event cards, you have even more complications. What did these cards do? Well, we're going to have private goal cards, okay, if you can accomplish it. And one in particular was really interesting on there because it said, make no more than 4 bottles at a time on delivery. What does that mean? Well, one, it encourages me not to upgrade my gear because I don't need big orders, but it changes what kind of customer I can get. And if I'm limited by the type of customer I get, it also affects where I can place on my board because they might not synchronize there. at the same time, my competitor might be trying to go for the big orders and they think they're getting all the points. But this is a sly little way to get those little extras. There's also public goals. Public goals are essentially a race to compete. If I get it first, I get the points and I denied you. But at the same time, if I'm working towards that goal and you accomplish it first, well, what was all my effort for? Maybe I messed myself up on the back end. And then there's these event cards. What do these say? Event, convert one type of milk in storage to any other kind of milk. That's a positive. There's another one in there that said, like, you get 2 free truck movements, which is huge. That can be just the difference between completing 2 orders or not. But then again, the complication is, are you even prepared to be there? Do you have the bottles? Do you have the right customers? There's just so many things in motion and in flux that everything becomes debatable. That was really cool. But like I said, the turns, the turns are fast. The overall game was about half an hour. I want to say 40 minutes for most of the games. And I'm talking about 2 people. And that was just a really good time. It was so different to the experience. I can't think of another game that combined the engine building, the delivery, and dice rolling in one, and the setting. It's just such a special setting, and the parts look so cool. Very happy to have this here. So anyway, that's Milkman. If you have specific questions about how rules are going to play out, or maybe more details of what these cards will be like, I'm happy to share. Just put it in the comments and I'll help you out there. So anyway, check that out. You might dig it. I certainly did. And that's all for now. I hope you're well, and we'll talk soon. Take care, okay? Bye.